So welcome to this video called the Amazon Sponsored Ad Sales Spark Method. Now let me give you some context for when you're going to use this. So we have exited the launch/rank stage. So just think about and look at your business in stages. So if the first stage is launching and ranking, and so now you have some traction, as soon as you exit the ranking stage, okay, after you use either the search, find, buy, rebate funnel or the ManyChat messenger funnel, okay, and you have really hit the ground running, you're really seeing movement for your keywords as far as rank. As soon as you exit that rank process or that rank stage, so in other words, after 8 to 14 days, and you stop running those Facebook ads, you turn off, the access from the Facebook group posting, whatever method you're using, immediately imagine a giant red switch that you flip on, and that is the Sponsored Ads Sales Spark Method, or SAS for short. The reason is because now that you have manufactured all of these rankings, right? You have pushed and you have scraped and clawed your way to the top, which is really so amazing. Why Search, Find, Buy, this course, is going to be so beneficial to you, because you went from a standing still, not even on the radar of Amazon, way back on page 30, where nobody could even find you, and you just shot up the rankings. Whether you're on page 1, 2, or 3 for various keywords, you're seeing that momentum. It's really remarkable how this system works. As soon as you are done, again, with the ranking stage, after 8 to 14 days, again, one of the themes in Module 6 is you have to be flexible on this. Immediately, though, that's when you start your sponsored ads, okay? You turn on sponsored ads. The reason is because you are now getting true organic full price sales, because now you're appearing for all of these keywords, and that is what is going to help you stick the ranking in the search results over the long term, right? And actually, there's a second part of this that we'll talk about on a different video, and that is you want to start split testing right away. We use a third-party software called Splitly. You want to start split testing your price right away. Then you want to split test your main image, all that stuff, so that at the same time that you've now achieved organic rankings, you turn on sponsored ads. So now you're kind of, in a sense, skipping the line. Now you're appearing at the top of search results. In addition, sometimes they're going to see you twice for a search result. They're going to see your sponsored ad, and then a couple slots down, they're going to see your organic ranking on that. So it's like the tide that rises all ships. And now you're generating more and more of these full price sales. So now you're into profit faster. You're generating positive cash flow, which is critical in business. And now you are, in an ideal world, you're now going to stick the rankings, with the caveat being, though, you cannot forget the other part of this is you need to be split testing, because remember, conversion is one of the most influential long-term ranking factors. Conversion rate is what's going to keep you ranked. So you might remember this image. It doesn't show the full picture because it would be too crazy, but you have optimized your listing prior to the launch. You have done your launch in Module 5, which is the diversified friends and family buys, or you then switched over to the ranking process, either using Facebook groups and forums, or our rebate ranking funnel, or the ManyChat, your messenger funnel. You have lots of tools in your tool belt now, right? You don't have to use them all. You just need one that you gravitate towards, plant your flag, master that. And then as soon as you exit, see how there's a 3 there, a 1, a 2, and a 3? As soon as you exit that ranking stage, you're going to turn on sponsored ads, and at the same time, you're going to be split testing. And so this is the sponsored ad part, is what this video is all about. Let me just bounce out of here, and I would like to show you an example of Amazon sponsored ads. This is Amazon's own ad platform. This is the best buying traffic that you can buy, because they're already on Amazon. If they're on Amazon, they already have probably an account. They're Amazon Prime, and they have a comfort level with that. So let's just do Bluetooth speakers again. And so you have some advertising sections, okay? we're not going to be talking about this because you have to have 3 products, but this is something that we talk about in Fast Track, which is my graduate program, my monthly coaching program. This is called headline ads. But again, I just want to repeat, you have to have 1, 2, 3 products for you to be able to play with these. I found these okay, but I found, let's see here. I found these type of ads far more effective because it's very hard to see the little sponsored thing. These are actually part of the Amazon sponsored ads program. All right. And so these are very, very powerful indeed. In essence, you get to skip the line, and this is a bad example because this is Alexa. Here, maybe we'll do a different one here. Let's do probiotics, I guess. Okay, here we are. Much better example. So this is sponsored. So these are paid ads, and they get to skip the line. So basically, we do a lot to rank organically because it's free traffic. And now we want to combine that top ranking with also having a second appearance, ideally for these keyword searches. And now we're appearing for as part of the sponsored ad program. And how these ads are triggered, what causes these ads to appear is it's based on attaching a keyword to your product within what's called the Amazon sponsored ad platform. So what I'd like to do now is actually go through the SOP that you'll find underneath this video. It's very comprehensive. The first time you fill out a sponsored ads campaign in the Amazon dashboard, it's a little confusing because there's one step we have to simply repeat 3 times. It's really easy. It's just a copy and paste. And well, let me just show this to you. First things first, as we go through the SOP, we have to wear the hat of that of a new product campaign. This setup and the advice I'm giving you would not apply to an existing product that has some history, that is already ranking pretty well, because you're going to take a loss leader approach. Only in the short term, though. Only in the short term. Why? Because we're still in this process where we really want to maintain strong momentum. And so we're going to basically continue to buy rank. So I'm willing to be a little more aggressive on my bids. I'm willing to be more aggressive on my daily budget than for a normal product that has already gone through this process. So why don't we talk about the high level concept, and that is you're going to use still a tighter set of keywords in setting up this sponsored ad campaign. My recommended range, kind of the sweet spot you'll hear me repeat often, is anywhere from 40 to 60 keywords in your sponsored ads campaign. But don't be too rigid with this. There are certain products that, I don't know, I'm just going to make this up. Let's say paper clips. You'd probably be hard pressed to come up with more than 20 keywords, if that. But there's other products where it could have multiple meanings, multiple niches that would apply to it, and you might easily come up with 80 or 100 keywords. So have some flexibility, but just the general range, the general mindset is you want to be somewhat targeted. You don't want to go wild and go too far afield with your keywords, because here's why we want to stay pretty much on target with our keywords. We want to make sure that we train A9 to understand what keywords our product is most relevant for. That's really critical, because that will aid us in getting even higher in rankings. It'll aid you in getting more purchases from those ads. If you're bidding on a keyword that really doesn't apply much to your listing, it's going to harm your conversion rate. You won't make as much money. You'll confuse A9. All right, so I hope that makes sense. So here's our campaign objectives when we're setting this up for a new product. Okay, first of all, as I mentioned in my opening comments, when you want to launch the Sales Spark method is after you have done your ranking campaign. In other words, after those 8 to 14 days where you are trying to move 65 units a day so that you can appear close to page 1, top of page 2. Now, there's something called ACoS. Now, if you're brand new to Amazon sponsored ads, you're like, what is ACoS? ACoS stands for Advertising Cost of Sale. So in other words, if your ACoS, if your advertising cost of sale, in other words, this is what percent of that sale can be attributable to ad spend. So in plain English, so ACoS, advertising cost of sale, a 25% ACoS means that 25% of that sale is advertising cost. All right, does that make sense? So here, let me just show you on a calculator. Hopefully this will be clear. Okay, so let's say your product sells for $20, and if you have a 25% ACoS, advertising cost of sale, that means $5 out of that $20 sale is what you spent on sponsored ads to buy that sale, to purchase that sale. You know, advertising cost of sale applies if you're running, Google AdWords. You can calculate, hey, you know what? It cost us 6% or 30% in ad cost to purchase that sale, to buy that sale, right? It's just a different way of looking at ad cost. So if you have a $10 product, your advertising cost of sale is 50%, then that means $5. It costs you $5 worth of sponsored ads to purchase, to buy a $10 sale or to cause a $10 sale. All right. Now, ACoS is very, very important that you understand because, again, we're going to take a loss leader approach, right? So in normal times, meaning not when I am dealing with a new product, but for an existing product, the worst case scenario I want is 25% ACoS or better, right? So lower is better. So if you have a 50% ACoS on a $10 product, that means $5 of that is advertising expense, okay? If you have a 25% ACoS lower, that means $2.50 of that $10 was advertising expense. 10% ACoS is even better, right? That means $1 you spend in ads to procure a $10 sale. Does that make sense? So a lower ACoS is better, but we're going to do something different since we have just launched this product. We want to be more aggressive, and we're willing to do like what the supermarket does. As a teenager, I worked at a successful privately owned supermarket chain called Wegmans, and as reliably as the sun rises and sets every Sunday, they would put either the eggs on sale or the milk on sale, which was in the back corner of the store, and they would purposely lose money on those commodity products and make people weave through the store. And inevitably, even though somebody swore they're just going in just to get this milk that's on sale, they'd end up with a cart full of items. And we're going to take that sort of loss leader approach because we're still trying to buy rank. We want to grab hold of that momentum that we have started off getting with friends and family or the Facebook group. And then we went into the rank phase and we want to continue that. But we're only going to do this for 60 days. So I'm willing to be more aggressive. I'm willing to tolerate small ACoS losses to gain that rank. Now, I'm also going to be more aggressive with my budget. I'm going to spend, and again, this depends on what you can afford, but me personally, I spend about 50% more on my daily budget when I'm in this new product sales spark mode here, okay? In other words, I'm willing to spend more. I'm willing to be more aggressive. Again, I already talked about the keyword focus, a tight set of 40 to 60 keywords. And again, I just want to stress, you're only going to do this loss leader kind of mindset for 60 days, okay? After which I go back to my discipline where I will force my campaigns. In other words, I'll optimize those campaigns so that I average a 25% advertising cost of sale or lower. Because, I'm not willing to continually run a sponsored ads campaign at a loss. Some people do. I think it's crazy. You're in business and you're in business to make money. So after 60 days, you know what? that is what I'm going to insist. I'm going to then go back in. I'm going to adjust my budgets lower. I'm going to also lower my daily budget. Remember, we artificially boosted it by about 50% higher for those 60 days. I'm bidding higher for those 60 days, but thereafter, then I'm going to optimize that campaign downward so that every day or most days I'm making a profit. And my worst case ACoS after the 60 days is 25% ACoS or lower. Now, as far as the overall strategy, we're going to create 2 campaigns. They're going to run side by side concurrently. We're going to do a manual campaign. We're going to target broad, phrase, and exact match. Don't worry, I'll explain what the hell this means, but manual basically means we're going to choose the keywords. But then we're going to also set up a second campaign called an automatic campaign. Again, these are going to be running at the same time. And an automatic campaign is where we just select our product that we want to advertise, but we basically let Amazon choose the keywords. And it's always interesting to see the traction that these campaigns get. And you never know. Sometimes you get some better ad placement. You get more placement with an automatic campaign. Sometimes you get more with the manual. That's why you do both, because what we want is we want to maximize our results. So this is what the sponsored ad SalesSpark setup looks like. Okay, just sort of at a glance. Right, manual and automatic. That says for 14 days. That should say for 60 days. Just make a mental note there. And let's get to it. So let's talk about match types. Now look, I'll be the first to admit this is not the most sexy topic on planet Earth, but you have to understand match types, and you have this SOP to refer back to if you get confused. So broad match, phrase match, exact match. This is essentially just telling Amazon, hey, when we paste in this set of keywords, we want you to trigger an ad whenever somebody types in exactly that, similar to that, stuff before and after that. So let me just show you. Broad match. This is any word in any order that can trigger your ads. So if our keyword is dog leash, our ad is going to be triggered if you select broad match. If our keyword is dog leash, your ad's going to be triggered literally if somebody just types in the word dog. If they just type in leash, your ad will be shown if they type in dog leash. They can put it in reverse order, leash dog. Anything before it, anything after it. So broad is literally the most broad. It is they can use any word in any order, and that will trigger your ad. Okay, so that's what broad match is. Let's talk about phrase match. Phrase match is a little more tighter. We're going to narrow the focus a little bit. That's what phrase match means. So again, if our keyword is dog leash, with phrase match, our ad will only appear when somebody searches for your keyword phrase in its exact order, but people can still put something before it or after it or both. Okay, so again, if our keyword is dog leash, your ad will appear if they type dog leash. Remember, the words have to be in that exact order. Anything they put before it, so large dog leash, blue dog leash, best dog leash, and anything after they type in that phrase, so dog leash with poop bag, dog leash for large dog, that will trigger your ad. See, again, with broad, they can use pieces of the word and in any order. So dog will trigger it, leash will trigger it, dog leash, leash dog, right? And phrase, they have to have dog leash in there somewhere, but they can put something before and something after it, okay? But your ad would not appear with phrase match if they did it leash dog, or if they just did dog or leash. It has to contain dog leash, but they can put stuff before and after it, or both before and after it. So best dog leash for large dogs would trigger it. And then finally, we have exact match. Now, this is the most simplest. This is when your ad will only appear if they use the exact keyword. So if we say, hey, exact match for dog leash, it's only going to appear if somebody specifically exactly types dog leash. They can't add best dog leash in front of it, best dog leash for large dogs, nothing. It has to be just that phrase. So your ad would not appear if somebody typed in anything else other than dog leash, not leash dog leash, exact match. So those are the three match types: broad, phrase, and exact match. And remember, I've realized for people that this is new information to, you're going to want to refer back to this SOP. That's why we spent a lot of time making these for you. And finally, just to confuse you further, there's a difference between a keyword and a search term. So a keyword, when launching sponsored ads, we tell Amazon what keywords we want that will trigger our ads to appear. Okay? And so we would say the keyword phrase dog leash. And then our ad gets shown depending on what match type we select. broad, phrase, or exact match type. So as you've seen, depending on what we choose, like broad or phrase, there can be all kinds of terms before or after it or both that could potentially trigger that ad to appear. And so those longer phrases that would trigger our ad to appear are called search terms. All right, so just as an example, and you can read this later, it says search query, but in sponsored ads, this is actually known as a search term. These are the things people typed in that trigger the ad. So if the keyword was a skinny jeans, they might type in Sevens brand skinny jeans, skinny jeans junior, skinny jeans sale. See, all these different things depending on the match type based on this keyword. So these are called search terms, and there's this goes outside the scope of Search Find Buy, but in my Fast Track Monthly Coaching Club, we teach our club members how to look under the surface, and you can find some solid gold in those search terms. So once you have some account history with your sponsored ad campaign, we always say there is no such thing as a bad keyword. There's only bad parts of the keyword and good parts. And if you can identify, if you have all these search terms that are triggering the ad to appear based on your keyword, you might see that, this one and this one are crushing it. So let's spend more on these, but these lose money every time. So just by pruning the loser search terms and expanding and optimizing the winners, you can turn a campaign that's into a very profitable and very targeted campaign. Okay, so that's the difference between a search term and a keyword. Now, let's just set all that aside in your mind. I know it's a lot to take in if you're new. Let's just come back and let's just walk through how to set up the sponsored ad Sales Spark campaign. All right, first things first. You have your keyword research. I showed you how to do keyword research earlier in our course. So it should look something like this. You have your major keywords, okay? And you have all of these minor keywords here, okay? Those are what you're going to put into your sponsored ads campaign. You're going to log into Seller Central and you're going to click Advertising Campaign Manager. And you're going to click Create a Campaign. Now, the first thing we're going to do is, remember I said earlier, let me just show you this up here. We're going to run two concurrent campaigns. We're going to be running a manual campaign, and we're going to target all three match types: broad, phrase, and exact. So I'll show you that setup. And also at the same time, we're going to run an automatic campaign where Amazon is going to do and select the keywords for us, okay? But we do things a little differently. Since this is for a new product, and remember, we're kind of taking a loss leader approach because we want to buy as many full price sales. We want to buy rank or continue to buy rank for those 60 days. So we go to Advertising Campaign. We're going to create a new campaign. You're going to select the sponsored product. So you're going to be met with this window that says, hey, choose your campaign type. You want sponsored products. You'll just click Continue, just like you see in the SOP. And you're kind of as you move your way top to bottom when you set up this campaign, just look at the screenshots and you're going to follow along in your account. I like to have consistent naming conventions. I like to be very organized, especially as your business scales and grows. You want to be able to train your team members to also stick to these naming conventions. Otherwise, if somebody leaves and then you're trying to figure out what the hell does this campaign name mean because you didn't have any consistency, that's a real problem. So I always do the formula product, right? So Bluetooth speaker. Then what stage are we with this? Well, this is a new product. If I'm launching something for an existing product, it might say Bluetooth speaker existing. And then what the campaign is, manual, and you can't see this, but it's BPE. What do you think BPE stands for? That's right, broad, phrase, exact. So just at a quick glance, I can see, oh, this is for a new product. So that's why my ACoS is higher than normal. Okay, that's okay. Here's the product it's for. And oh, great, this is a manual campaign for broad, phrase, and exact. There's a lot of good information I can see at a glance just because I'm using a good naming convention. You do not want to have an end date for this because what you're going to do is after the 60 days of that kind of more aggressive running of your sponsored ads campaign, you still want to keep that campaign running, only you're going to start to prune and optimize that campaign. You're going to lower your bids and things like that to float down that ACoS towards my target of 25%. But that's after the 60 days. So let's not get into weeds here. So no end date. And remember I said earlier that I'm more aggressive on my daily budget. This will, of course, depend on what kind of money you have and if you can afford to do this. But in this example, if my normal daily budget for an existing product would be $100 a day, I would go about 50% higher at $150 a day for 60 days. And then you're going to select manual targeting because we want to determine in the manual campaign what the keywords are. Does that make sense? Now, it's going to say, hey, what is your ad group name? This is kind of meaningless for us, so I just put something in there like broad, phrase, exact. This is just for you. It really doesn't have much to do with anything. Now, under bidding, I highly, highly, highly recommend that, especially for a new product, you select fixed bids because we want to be more aggressive. Again, we don't mind taking a loss leader approach, spending a little more to buy those full price sales. And how I come up with my default bid here is I look down here at the suggested bid. This information will appear once you select the product. So let's say that you have a Bluetooth speaker. As soon as you select that product as part of this campaign setup, all of a sudden it'll say, oh, okay, based on how competitive or not competitive this product is, it's going to give you a suggested bid range. See, it says, 54 to 529, but this is what we want to look at. 204. I always add some extra on top of that, and I always do an odd amount. So you don't do round numbers. You don't do 210, 215, 220. That's because that's what the herd does. The herd, all marches in lockstep, and they think in terms of round numbers, right? $2, 205, 210, 215, 220. So you want to do a strange amount, okay? So in this case, I'm going to bid a little more aggressively here than the suggested bid of 204. I'm going to make it 214, okay? 214 and fixed bids. Now, we're going to choose keyword targeting, okay? That's what you want to select for this. And you're met with this window, and this is the part, it's easy, but it's kind of a hassle. So there's this drop down that says broad. Well, if you click this down arrow, you'd see it would say broad or phrase or exact. Now, you already know what broad, phrase, and exact mean because I taught it to you, okay? So step one, we're going to choose broad, and you're just going to dump all of your major, minor, and your gazelle keywords here, and then you're going to click add keywords. But then we just got to repeat the process because we want to do this also for phrase. So from the drop-down menu, now you select phrase, and you paste the exact same keywords again. It's very repetitive, and click add keywords. And guess what? We have to do it one more time for exact match. So again, only difference is now you select exact, paste the exact same keywords again, add keywords. For God's sakes, Amazon, give us a drop down that says all the above, so we don't have to keep doing this, 3 times in a row. But hey, until they do that, that's what we have to do. All right. So just to kind of show you what this looks like then, if you were to scroll through the keywords we added, you'd see the list of keywords repeated 3 different times, but, once for exact, once for phrase, once for broad. So this is kind of what that would look like. All right. And then all I have to do is click launch campaign and you're off to the races. You can see the keyword bid there, etc. Now, here is a big leagues tip. Look at this suggested bid. I'll show you this again in a second. It's going to tell you how competitive this niche is, because what you might realize as you look at these suggested bid is we were actually too conservative with that 214 figure. We might have to up that to like 314 or whatever. It just is what it is. And this is what I mean. See where it says, suggested bid. Looks like we're pretty good here. See? So for this one, it's $1, but we're doing 214. This one we nailed. This one we're good. This one we're good. And that's what we want. We want to be more aggressive than most of these suggested bids. Okay? So just kind of eyeball that. Don't obsess over it. This is more art than science, but that's how that works. Now remember I said we're going to do a second concurrent campaign. This is for automatic. Now this is easy, because with an automatic campaign, we're going to let Amazon do all the work. In other words, choosing the keywords to bid on. So this is super easy. It follows the same format as the previous. So just follow the screenshots in this SOP and you're going to be golden. So again, you're going to select a sponsored ads campaign. Here's that naming convention, but it's different. Product, new product, but this case, automatic. Again, that way at a glance, I can see, oh, this is the automatic campaign for a new product, Bluetooth speaker. Again, no end date, same daily budget. Only this time, instead of manual targeting, you're going to pick automatic targeting. As it says here, what that means is Amazon will target the keywords and products that are similar to the product in your ad. All right. For ad group, again, this doesn't really matter. I just write automatic campaign. This is just for you. Bidding, same exact advice. Fixed bid. Look at the suggested bid and go higher, but choose a weird amount, not a round number, and then launch the campaign. All right. And so you just learned in this SOP here, and as we kind of talked it out, now hopefully this right here, the execution of this makes a lot more sense. This process has made me a lot of money, because in the world of Amazon, the 80-20 of the 80-20 is your ability to rank and be visible on their platform. And over time, you really want to become a sponsored ads master, because I have clients that earn 6-7 figures just by choosing to master how sponsored ads works. It's a fantastic strategy because, as I said earlier in this video, you're going to get the highest quality traffic possible, because when a sponsored ad is displayed, it is right after somebody has specifically typed in a search and are right on the cusp of buying something, and whammo, your product gets to skip the line, appear right at the top, and you have a great chance to make some very, very good money with sponsored ads.